Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Fans of Power podcast. I'm Tyler Baker. With me, as always, is the Rotten Amato Joe Amato and Nasty Nate Kennedy. And to get things started off, if you want to hear our thoughts on the latest He-Man rumor news about some random guy who's supposedly being cast or looked at to play He-Man, here's what we have to say. And we'll just move on, all right? So, how are you guys doing?
All right. Okay, that was unexpected. So, I'm doing good.
Well, because after I just figured, look, we denounced people from saying, "Hey guys, did you see the news?" They're like, "I'm so glad people did not tag Joe or myself, at least not that I was aware of." So,
I was from other groups. The thing is, first, yeah. Well, you're right. It was like even the. Well,
I didn't think.
So what?
Well, to me, it was so unexpected. Because before we started recording, you're like, "All right, there's one thing I want to say real quick. We'll move on." I knew that was something we were gonna probably talk about, but it caught me off guard, man.
Well, I was just gonna say the websites that first did it, they thought that he was supposed to be in the role for He-Man, but then it came out, no, he was supposed to be cast in the role of Prince Adam. But the other thing is, remember everybody, this was just talks. There was no confirmation because a lot of people thought it was confirmed. They said, oh my God, he is going to be Adam. It's like, no, click the article just to let people know in case they didn't click the article. Click it and it'll say it's just in talks. So again, if they actually, when they do, trust me, when they do the green light of the movie and they say, okay, it's actually in production, they're shooting, you see them on set and they have the actors, yeah, I mean, then I'll get excited. But yeah, just to, calm people down for a second.
Yeah, that's all we have to say. Right?
But, well,
farts will never not be funny to me. I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's okay. Like, I'll acknowledge everybody in the chat room. No. I was just going to say, I was going to acknowledge everybody in the chat room and then acknowledge some people that reached out to us last week from our last video that I think were new to comment on our videos. But we have, right now in the chat room, after Nathan calms down and Tyler, and in my eye, I got smaller holes. I'll tell you what happened to my old mask. Oh, shut up. Well, you know what I mean. My holes. I'll tell you about
you diva.
I thought you were
falling back in this chair.
Oh gosh. Well, we got Zentron, Tags Media Animation, JSP, Grimbot, Anthony Albanese, Miharu. Oh god, they lost it. Miharu the Fox, Sportimus, and let me see if I got everybody. I'm almost at the bottom. And Amational and Maxworks has joined us. So thank you all for joining us. But no, this is a. You gonna be all right? You guys think I lost it?
It's just because I haven't seen Nathan laugh that hard at anything that I've done.
And so Nathan, he was. Yeah, I think he even hit the mute. He muted his mic. I think he did it because he knows the camera would be switched probably on him the whole time. No, just earlier in the week, John Idis sent me something I wasn't expecting. Because you know how I ate those camel balls the one week, but they're gum, it was gum and it was good. Well, he figured he would have me join in on this crazy Bean Boozle challenge that people are doing where these beans taste like vomit, rotten eggs, sour milk.
Is this to raise charity or money for awareness for something or some nonsense?
No, this is called No, this was just a torture thing in Scareglow's house. You can find Scareglow's house on Facebook. It's a fun group. But he sent it to me and he said, Joe, you're going to have to try these things. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know if I'd want to do it. But I put on my mask. And as I was eating them, I mean, I was spitting. It was that bad. I was almost puking live on Facebook. So much to where I was. These two have just lost. He's lost it because of Nathan. I think people have gone insane. Look at Nathan in the background. He's stopped. But, so I almost vomited on the mask. So this old mask had to be retired. Had bigger holes, now I got small holes. But this mask is done now. And I was going to send it out to somebody, but I can't send it to that
you vomited on?
Because it's going to smell like puke.
It's horrible. It can't have this. This is just rotten. So
I gotta stop. I don't know why. It's just the way he did it. I think just the delivery of that whole thing. It was just it was so fast and it just knocked me. I don't know. Sorry, guys.
Well,
That's
I will
fine.
say I had this plan date with the day it was announced. I'm like, I know how I'm going to respond. I need a Rocco sound effect, and I had to find a fart that sounded like the one you would hear on Rocco's Modern Life. So,
Oh man, between that and Joe almost vomiting in his mask and still wanting to like send it to somebody.
it was like,
That's like how demented is that? But JD Gibson, Ink Armor's here, and Dark Soldier or Dark Six Soldier. So a lot of new people, a lot of new people joining us. So thanks for popping up for this. But yeah, there's a few things we're going to talk about. We'll get some of the recent news, like we just got out of the way very quickly. But also the Super 7, kind of, I guess.
Oh yeah, don't get me started.
Yeah, I think I might be fumbling with this damn mask the whole time because my eyes, I can barely see. I'm an idiot. I should have made them bigger.
Blind Joe.
Yeah. So you can see. I mean, look at the difference. Hold on.
Well, I mean, we got Blind Joe. We got the Dodo and Doo-Doo on here. If you guys watch Capes and Commentaries, that was pretty funny.
no.
Yeah, you can see with this, you can see how big the holes are in comparison to my new ones. The holes are quite smaller. So that's so I'm a little suffering. But just to let everybody know, if you still were planning on getting those Super 7 figures of the movie figures, the last day to get them, I think it's March 29th is the last day. After that, you can't do the pre-orders. And that's when Tyler was going to jump in, because I was going to do it this week, almost right towards the end of the week. He's going to say something about the shipping that I didn't know. I wanted to hear that and want you guys to hear what he was saying.
I was going to get Conan. I was just double checking like that. So that's Friday. For this Friday, as we're dropping this right now, we have 6 days. Or no, 5 days, excuse me.
5 days.
5 days to get your subs in before the end of the month. But I was going to get Conan, and I just kind of wanted to see what the total price was. It was $50. And that's kind of what kept me from like pulling the trigger, is $50 for one figure. I'm like, God, man, it's $15 to ship one figure. $35 to buy it, $15 to ship it. And I'm sure they had the reasons for it, but I was just telling Nathan about it. This was not planned. This conversation we're having right now, I was just telling Nathan in passing conversation, because I hadn't got it yet. Nathan hadn't got his yet. And Joe, I don't know if Joe's going to get Conan. Probably not.
No, I just, I haven't bought figures in a while, but I made sure I'm going to afford to buy those 4 figures. But did you say that the shipping for all 4 of those figures combined is the same as just the shipping for just one single figure?
Mm-hmm. It came to a total of $155 for all 4 figures, and $50 for the one. Because it's kind of like buying in bulk almost kind of thing. But
I don't understand the reasoning, and because shipping prices to me kind of balance out to the size of the box that it's going into, and also the weight is a factor. So I don't know why 4 figures being shipped would be the same price as shipping one. I don't understand that process. But.
Yeah, it's not like the speed is it's not like you're when it's shipped, you get it in 2 days or 3 days. It's almost 2 weeks sometimes. It kind of varies, I think, for everybody, but it's within at least 2 weeks, if not less, when they tell you it's shipped out. And you can track it, of course. But it just seemed an awful lot for one figure. I'm going to do it because I want that Conan figure, but and I'll do it for Toxie when he comes out too. So.
Oh, yeah, because, I guess the awesome thing is, like, when you get all 4 of them at once, 14 is a hell of a deal for shipping. But I guess in that aspect, when you're thinking, hey, I got all 4 of these for only 14, maybe that single figure will just be $8 for shipping. So, I can see what you mean, but I guess the big bundle of all 4, that is a hell of a deal, I guess, when you think about it and put it in that light.
I'm going to double check real quick as we're talking, just so I can verify, so somebody doesn't come along who can't wait to correct anybody on anything that we do. Oh, by the way, guys, you wrong. I want to let you know and embarrass you. Like, well, I'm going to beat you to it here, bud.
Well, while you do that, I'll acknowledge a couple other people that joined us.
March
Kevin
31st. March 31st is the last.
Oh, thank you for doing that. See, I have the day.
You have exactly 1 week.
Yes. So before someone goes, I get to correct them on something here. So,
well, yes. I'm glad you corrected me, because I wasn't sure, but I guess that's a good thing. We can have one more time to say it next Sunday, because, well, we'll be on next Sunday. That's when it's the last day, so I'm sure you'll hear it one more time. But Kevin Sharp, Willis Wheeler, Captain Chronic, they've all joined us as well in the chat room, so thank you all for joining us. And we had a question from one of the listeners that I wanted to address at the beginning, too, Alex Jones. He had a question because it was something that I haven't dug to find out the answers. If people in the chat room might know, I'd like to hear this as well. But apparently Funko has lost the Masters of the Universe license. So that means you won't get any more of those little pop figures or any of the other things that they were doing. And so then rumors popped up. And this is what I mean. I don't know what the real reason is. Rumors popped up that either they lost it because maybe the license for, using Masters of the Universe possibly went up and they didn't want to pay it or couldn't afford it. Another rumor was possibly that supposedly Mattel, whoever, the people behind the licensees don't like the Primal Age figures that Funko's putting out because they look too similar to vintage Masters, and maybe there's some issue there. And I don't have a clue. Like I said, I don't know what the real reason is.
That sounds like bullshit, though.
Yeah, because I couldn't picture.
I don't buy that for a second.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, if anything, it's maybe a license thing. Because he basically brought up, he was like, well, what would you rather have? Would you rather have, Funko just making the pops and Dorbs and things and never doing stuff like this again? Or would you rather just have the 5.5-inch style figures that they've been popping out of, Mortal Kombat, the DC Primal Age horror figures, upcoming Street Fighter? I'll be honest, I love Masters of the Universe, but if I had my choice between little pop figures and these, I'm going to take these guys any day of the week. I mean, I don't know about you two, but this is something I'd rather have over the pops. The pops are cool, and don't get me wrong, they're fun for whoever loves them, but I like this stuff. I like these 5.5-inch figures.
Well, Joe, frankly, I'm quite offended by what you just said there. And I want an apology of $500. I want a written apology.
That's it.
Mailed to my house and $500.
And boom, I'm off the podcast right now. The feed's gone. But no, what are your guys' thoughts?
Because I'm just generous like that. But I want you to know, you offended me with your opinion.
Sorry about that. No, go ahead.
No, I.
Oh, by the way, here it is. Final price right there.
$48.98. All right.
Yep. So we're looking
at
thanks
for that too.
$50 to get Conan. Okay, yeah, you can just dismiss me like that. Go ahead.
Well, I'm saying, did you just flash your address on there for everybody as well?
I ain't worried about it. Believe me, if somebody wants to come stalk me, I will beat your ass at the door.
It's either going to lead to hate mail or free gifts.
If you guys want to send him turds in a box, there you go.
Yeah, he's either going to get hate mail or a lot of free stuff.
My underwear and stomp on him.
One of them. And
hey.
Jason Johnston, thanks for joining us. Go ahead.
And Doug Turner. Hello, Doug.
Man, we got a full house
Doug
here
Turner.
tonight.
Sorry. Again, apologies for being passed out and asleep and missing our wrestling podcast this week. but in terms of that, I have Funko Pops. I have those 5.5-inch figures. What exactly is the question? What I want to choose between?
If you had a choice, like hypothetically, a choice. If you had the choice of only getting always these 5.5-inch style figures from Funko of any type of thing you can imagine.
5.5-inch ones all the way. To me, Funko Pops, as cool as they can be, depending on what's released, might be an unpopular opinion, but the Funko Pops are the Beanie Babies of this generation. People buy them, and there's exclusives, and I think we went on this rant before, but there's nothing special about the packaging that they come in. It all looks the same, all of it. There's nothing great about it. I don't care about the variants or gold versions of whatever, FYE exclusive, Hot Topic exclusives. I just don't understand that, and I'm sure some people are like hoarding them, thinking that they can make tons of money off of them, and I'm sure they can right now.
College.
Yeah, I'm sure they can right now with some of them, but I'm sure some people are getting them thinking, 20 years from now, these will be worth something. They're not.
Some of those San Diego Comic-Con ones, I know those went ballooning in price almost to $1,000 or more on some of those.
And just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, well, hey, when I guess some people, they can't get, that's the other thing, Tyler, and you have the 30th anniversary, special box set of the DVDs with that Castle Grayskull facade. You have that, correct, Tyler?
No. I was not going to double dip and buy. I bought the original mural set because that's what a true fan does. You don't wait, well, I'll just come and double dip here because I missed the first one. No.
The reason I ask is, yes, somebody popped up in one of the groups and said, I wanted to get this off of eBay, but it was crazy expensive. And I went to eBay, and these things are they're in the hundreds now. I was like, why the hell is this in the hundreds? There was I think there was 18,000. I mean, there was a ton of those made, but
most of the episodes are on YouTube. if you don't watch them on there, and I understand wanting to have the set, but once the movie does get rolling, I'm sure they're gonna re-release another set because that's what these companies do. They just keep. Tyler, remember when you and I used to double dip on DVDs all the time just because it had like one or two special features? How many times did we really watch those? Not that much.
Oh, I did, because that's what if you're going to get my money, give me something that, a new commentary track, a new documentary or something like that. But
yeah, but sometimes we would double dip on stuff that it was just the extras ended up being just sort of pointless.
Well, and most of the time I would find that after the fact, because I wasn't going to just buy something just for the sake of it. I mean, because Nathan would point out some, new Blu-ray DVD releases that had some kick-ass covers. Like, well, that's great, but I can't justify spending $20 for a movie that I've already got 3 copies of. I bought another set of the Rocky series because I thought there was a documentary on there. I don't know where I read it, but I clearly misread and spent $50 on a set that I already had, and it just came with something I'm like, I didn't really need that at all. But I remember when that set came out, I'm like, well, I don't need it because I have the entire series. Everything that came out, I think there was like something added to it, but I'm like, that's not enough, and I don't need this, collectible case. I'm sure it's cool for some people, but
I would say in regards to that, I would just be patient and see if there will be another reissue of the series on DVD that you can get for cheaper. If not, then I mean, also with the community the way that it is, I'm sure that there like a marketplace between.
Oh, if you go to,
on the fan base,
He-Man.org has gotten a marketplace where you can trade stuff and buy and sell stuff as well. I'm sure if you just put it out there to any of the Facebook pages, or go to He-Man.org
or get Joe to post about it. Be like, hey, any of you guys got an extra set you don't want that you can give this guy, and he'll pay the shipping or whatever for cheap. I'm sure he can make it happen.
Well, even when they released that box set, they still released like season 1 again with these like individual discs with like these little envelopes of season 1 and 2. Then they released the best of season 1 and the little small collect, and then they released like the top 10 episodes. Like they re-released it in 3 different kinds of variants of the episodes after the initial first release by BCI. I don't know who took care of the second one because I wasn't interested. I wasn't buying it any. I did buy another set because some of the DVD menus are pretty slow on that first release, and the second one's a little bit more quicker. So there was some logic behind that, and I bought it for some other people as well too. I believe like some kids at Christmas or something, but.
Well, also too, are the episodes available to buy like on iTunes or Amazon?
They used to be. They've been on and off of iTunes for years. Like I actually purchased quite a few off iTunes for the hell of it. But Classic Media is, I don't know what's going on with them and the licensing for the episodes and the cartoons being available on iTunes and things. But yeah, most of them are all available on YouTube. Both He-Man and She-Ra. I know if you have to be a little specific about it, you can find an actual uploaded English version with, not altered, not a small short version or an elongated version with some goofy like effects to avoid copyright issues, like actual uploaded versions of the episodes, New Adventures as well, and MYP. So I know a lot of people like myself, we like to have hard copies to watch on our TVs, but they're all available for free on YouTube, the vast majority. I don't want to point to James Heatalk and have him being bombarded with more stuff than he already is, but he's another guy who may also have some insight on like where you could possibly get him, because he's done a lot of work with Classic Media as well. But I will say, eBay, you're going to pay out the ass for everything, because anybody that grabs, this is from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to have to realize that, people. You can't go on there and look for something like that. You can, but you're probably going to have to get it used. Amazon's probably not going to be much better either, too. So I suggest going to the Facebook pages like Motu Nation, because that's all about buying, selling, and trading. Go to He-Man.org and their marketplace, and see if anybody's got something.
And also check like your local pawn shops and stuff too, because you never know. You come across it and pay like like I got the X-Men, pretty much most of the X-Men series, except for one volume. I got them all at a pawn shop, paid $2 a piece for each one, and that was most of them weren't even opened yet. And I'm like, why did you bring this to a pawn shop? I mean, you didn't even bother to open it.
Yeah, a lot of hidden gems pop up at those pawn shops. But you're right, if there aren't those and you were looking for places on Facebook, Tyler did mention Motu Nation. There's Motu Evolution. So there's a lot of good places. In Scareglow's house that I mentioned, I mean, beyond doing a lot of fun stuff there, they try to help each other out. That's what's great about the community, is they all look out for each other. And, if you're not going to be paying that super expensive price on eBay, somebody always hooks you up. That's what's great, because we usually don't ourselves. We're not trying to not, let's say, screw people out of stuff. It's just on eBay, they know when they put it on there, they might get people rabid and go nuts in a bidding war. Whereas if you can find some friends and some buddies, and hell, sometimes you can even do trades, so you could check those out, which is always good. And Eric Amen and Zen Brown, thank you for joining us as well. But yeah,
it's also like the shitty articles. It's like, oh, did you know that if you have this figure, it's worth $1,000?
Oh, bullshit.
No, it's not.
God.
If you have an original NES, it's worth $800. No, it's not. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's worth something, especially if it has been mass produced.
Yeah, like Pops, it's just like it's popping because they say it is, and you're gonna buy into it and spend all that money, and then after a while, the new fad is gonna start, and you won't be able to give those things away.
But if you like them, it's cool. Yeah. I own some. Oh, yeah. I don't have an issue with it. It's just crazy that people think that it's this. That they're worth something, or they're going to be worth something, and just no.
Well, again, a lot are. It just depends. It depends on what exclusive, because there's so many websites and stores that each have their unique own exclusive figure, and they do get high up in price. And like you said, if that's somebody's thing, that's great. Because I have a couple Pops. I have some He-Man ones. I have some Friday the 13th ones. But there are those that collect Pops like we collect Masters, and I mean they just have hundreds, thousands. It's insane the amount they could have. Hell, I got that one Skeletor from San Diego Comic-Con, I think back in, I don't know if it was 2016 or whenever it was, but I think that's one that's almost worth $1,000 too. And I just got it. I think I forgot how I ordered it or got it, but it was like $9 whatever the value was, or how somebody got hooked me up, as I was saying, from the con. So it's bizarre, but yeah, people love this stuff and it's great. I just got hooked on these. And by the way, if you have a place called Box Lunch in your area, maybe at a mall, they were doing 2 for $18 on those Primal Age figures. And that's how I got a couple beyond through gifts and stuff. That's a hell of a deal, compared to paying, maybe $12 to $14, depending on where it's at. Because they vary. Those figures are anywhere from $19, and at the highest, I think I've seen $14.90, maybe. But I haven't seen them more expensive than that. So good deals getting, like you said, 2 for $18. You can't beat that. Yeah. Because it's the next,
Yeah, it's not a bad price at all. But as far as that, I've been to the website before, because I know they have t-shirts and everything like that, but where Tyler and I are, we don't get things like that at all, and if we do, we have to drive 2-3 hours, maybe even more, to go to them. So you got
something
that one
on
my
area. Yeah, it's something new, because my mall never had that. I walked by, remember the first times I always walked by, I just thought it was a clothing store. Walked by one other time and I seen a little, believe it or not, a little Pop. A Pop figure was in their window, and I thought, oh, they must sell these kind of things. Went in, it was all the way in the back. In back of all the clothes and stuff, a back wall was all this stuff. Primal Age stuff, the Funko Pez dispensers, and just a whole bunch of stuff was there. So, yeah, like you said, maybe you get lucky if you go. But, well, that's that stuff about that. Now, Tyler, did you say you might have something else you were going to want to talk about before we got into doing the commentary and stuff?
No, it was me pretty much dumping on. They're talking about the news.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I thought you said there was maybe one other thing of news or something you wanted to say, but I might have.
Me slamming the news. That was it. That's why I said I'm gonna say it real quick and move on. What should I said it? I farted, and we move on.
That was real quick.
That way, Joe wouldn't try to interrupt and say, because if you don't let Joe do his routine, he gets spastic and flips the table over and everything. So I had to get it in quick.
It does. You're right. It happens.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of also a sore subject, Sportimus had asked, remember that show Toy Hunter? They hopped up the values on purpose. But no, the cool thing was Willis Wheeler said that he was actually on an episode of that show. So that's
Wild
cool.
Man Willis.
That is cool.
Yeah, he's Wild Man Willis.
Did you tell that guy that he was an asshole and he ruined toy collecting for most of us for probably forever?
He was cool with them. He was cool with them. But Willis has a lot of cool, interesting things that he was showing. And Willis was on that. The thing is that the collector you're talking about, that Toy Hunters, that was the most amusing thing that I got a kick out of. Is that one time, I remember you could find Spy Door mint in box on eBay for usually around maybe 85, and if it was like a real crisp, clean, good box, it could have been 110. Well, that toy hunter guy went to somebody's house. There was like a beat up kind of box or something, and he like schmoozed them or said and back and forth, and eventually got it for like 180 or 200. He's like, I pay 200, I could probably get 400. And then when I'm going to these places, I've finally seen one store that was like having old retro video games. They had that Spy Door up there, had it at the exact price that toy hunter was asking. I was like,
as seen on TV.
And it was. I was like, you're not going to get that price. I was like, trust me. And I said, I'll give you this. And I offered a price. And he was like, nope. I was like, well, I said, I was just trying to actually help you out. And sure enough, that thing still sits there, same spot in that store years later.
That's what he deserves. It's just like Justin and his shitty toy store.
Who's that? Wait, what?
It's the guy that Tyler and I talk about all the time. His shop, he has his hours posted, and you go during that time. He's always closed. He's got everything displayed all nice and neat, and it looks really awesome. Can't touch anything. If you want to pick something up and kind of look at it, he comes over immediately and starts trying to converse with you, like, hey, you better put that shit back. And it's like, no, sir.
By the way, I met Matt Hardy. Do you want a picture of me with Matt Hardy?
Yeah. He used to be an independent wrestler once, I guess.
You look at him, you would never know it.
Yeah. But, even back then, Tyler's like buying stuff from him and we'd leave, and I would just be kind of like disgruntled because I would see stuff that I want, but I would see the price. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And you can't haggle with him because he won't cut you any deals. It's also the other thing.
He would cut me deals, but when I say deal, I mean like he
knock off like a quarter
most, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Let me guess. He must be like some of those people. Oh, first, Adam Gabbert, thank you for joining us. But that's what I get a kick out of is when I go to eBay and somebody will have an item, and let's say they price it at $25. The haggle game. It says $25 or best offer. So most people say like $12.50. Then they come back with maybe $23, and then you go to $14. You always do this thing to where you eventually go in the middle.
I've never gone that low on that because I tried to buy an animation cell Spydra. The guy wanted 25. I said 20. He goes, no. He goes back 24.
Well, that's what I'm going to get at. And that's what I'm getting to, which amazes, and it cracks me up, is usually I do haggle, and a lot of people, you can haggle and get a really good price, especially when sometimes they're trying to go too high. But I did that where I would do, let's say a half, and then they would say $24.75. And then I'd say, okay, one of these people. So I'll say 16, and they're like, $24.50, and then they eventually go to $24.25. And it's not like they're being an ass back to me. Sometimes I could even just say something $5 lower, and they still do this quarter thing. It's like, why are you make a best offer if all you're going to do is go down a quarter, and a quarter?
I've never had any. Honestly, I've never had any trouble with that. I got the Aliens folded movie poster. I think it was like $85 or best offer, and I was like 60. They're like, all right, cool.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
You win. You win. You take it. And I'm like, all right, yeah. Pay the man.
Yeah. There's just some people that they shouldn't even have. Oh, that was the one thing. There was an item that was just recently on eBay. This is the one that really confused me. I know sometimes people will say starting bid $5, and it'll say, reserve not met, meaning they might hope to get $40 for a particular item. So you keep putting it in. It says offer not accepted, offer not accepted. And I understand that. Until I just seen this one the other day where it says opening bid $5, no reserve met, or make best offer. I was like, huh? I was like, okay, well, you had to start at $5. Yeah, I was like, you have just, what the hell? You're throwing too many things out there. Because I said, oh, $5? Okay, I said, I'll offer him $3. And then his counter offer was $29. I was like, 29? Wait, what the hell just happened? Well, you had $5 as the opening bid, and nobody still has even put the opening bid of $5, and there's a day left. I was like, whew, I don't know.
How about 501 and a McDonald's coupon book?
It'll make that, yeah. For me, I don't like paying for too much. You know me, if I can haggle or something or get something for free, that's the way I'll try to do it when it comes to food or other things. Like, why pay for it when I can see this for free?
Should we ask Joe that question we thought we were thinking about asking him when we were doing capes and commentaries? Should we go ahead and?
I forgot what the question was. I know.
Well, it was
just going to be about food.
No, it was going to be about strip clubs, and we were just going to ask if you had ever been to one, and if you had any like weird random stories.
No, well, the thing is, I would take ones. I'm not anybody that takes any bigger bills, but the few times I went, like,
I would take a roll of quarters and I would just throw it at him, and then one of them got hurt, and the bouncer just walked me out.
Belt. He says, like, here's a couple dimes.
Flicking quarters and nickels and dimes.
Like it's a wishing pond. He just flicks them on stage there. And
But no, as for, I mean, a lot, there's no, I mean, it's not being mean saying this, but if you can get it for free, you know, where you're at or something, it's like, why go see it? It's like, I ain't sleeping with any of them. It's not to be nasty or mean, but
that's not what they do.
Yeah, that's not what we were talking. We just figured because, you know, you always brought up the fact, like, hey, the convenience stores, did you guys ever have like the glass in there? You got to like slide the money in and it like goes around and they grab it. We just thought that maybe the strip clubs were weird
behind glass or something,
and parts unknown as well. Yeah.
I have to like ball up the money and throw it through like a hole of the glass for them to get. I can't even touch to slip it in a G-string or nothing. It's like, there we go. Just do that. No, it's not that bad. So, what a question, but like that's cool.
Some lady with like, you know, saggy gams with a lovely singing voice is like, you know, got her palm all there, you know, 10 per yen there, honey. And it's like, well, I got $5 and a $5 Christmas season McDonald's coupon. What will that get me? You know, I'll show you half a net. Yeah,
half something like that would.
Just hanging out by the dumpster while Joe's sitting there, like, you know, he's got his grocery cart there. You know,
I just think of it like the adult version of what was that movie with Ed Harris, Milk Money?
Oh yeah,
I think it would be like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got his big sack full of shit. Will you take your clothes off for $103.62, and then he gets the shit smacked out of him? That would be great. Joe walking around with a sack of chains all over parts unknown, asking people to take their clothes off.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
And then when he's done, he's like, after sex, you smoke. It's a rule. And then he didn't have sex. He just, you know, asked some lady to look at her yams, and they were hanging all the way down the well like Miss Chokes on deck on South Park. You know.
Yeah, no, but honestly, like I said, I never liked it. For me, it was always like teasing. It would just drive me insane. So that's another reason. I hated going to be teased that much when nothing else is going to happen. Like I said, I know that's not the purpose of it, but
you must have not had some great experiences.
Yeah, you don't. You got to go to Crazy Horse. I've never been to a strip club, and Tyler's like, I can't. How are we friends? And I'm like, I just no interest.
It's for Jason Johnston right here. Yes, here's the old puke one. He was asking. This is the new one. So yeah.
Puke.
Yeah, that's puke one. Joe's wearing puke two. You know.
Yeah, it'll get there eventually. I guaranteed it will.
Look for puke one on eBay. $5 or best offer. Reserve not made yet.
Or it's like, you know, tell people, look, this is from a guy from a cartoon that was in the 80s. I could probably get $500 because of the authentic, you know.
Is that toy hunter guy still around? We can get him to parts unknown, and he can.
No, he's not around.
What happened in that show?
It went off the air. Yeah, like which is didn't bug me.
Because I get upset every time I watch it because of how much he's charging out the ass, thinking I can get $1 million for this item because it's from the 80s, guys, and he just like just want to smack the hell out of him.
But Tyler, I don't know if you have that at the ready. If you can get that at the ready again, I'll try not to like die laughing for the next 10 minutes. But it's brought up in the chat, and we'll do like how they do on Raw. In case you missed it, here's an instant replay. Tyler, what are your thoughts on the new casting news?
What was that question again?
Oh, what are your thoughts on that those articles about that kid supposedly being cast as He-Man or Prince Adam?
I can sum that up pretty easily.
There you go. There you go. In case you missed it.
Yeah, oh, Jesus.
That's so funny.
And
that goes for Joe, too. So any people out there that see it pop up again and decide, I better tag Joe Amato. I better get his insight on this, and I'll give him the inside scoop on this news. It's clear that no one has anything. I'm breaking news here.
A lot of tags, a lot of private messages on it. And Zen Brown, he said he agrees with me. He doesn't like that being teased either. So yeah, that's right, Zen Brown, definitely. So well, Tyler, if you wanted, you could transition to the next topic.
Yeah, now we're going to talk
maybe
about
say something if you want to.
Entertainment here, people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, last week we heard about the great Larry DiTillio had passed away, and we probably could have just changed the format, but we didn't. And we both felt that we should at least do a commentary for a Larry DiTillio episode. We've done most of his episodes already, so Cat and Spiders, Outside of Time Corridor, and some stuff that he's did for Shearer, the Secret of the Sword and stuff like that. We'll get to that at some point. But also, briefly discuss his contributions to the mythology, because I think next to Paul Dini, Robbie London, and I'm sure everyone David Wise did some good stuff too, but Larry DiTillio, I think by far, in terms of giving us not only great episodes, but characters that are, celebrated is putting it lightly. With, Granomir, Chakotay, Mask, Huntara, and one tonight, which I'll talk to Joe and Nathan about before we get going. Katrina, of course, and that's the one I'll discuss a little bit more. But the guy's contribution, the Faceless one, another character we have yet to discuss on this podcast as well, which to me was one of the greatest additions to the mythology, and that's why I feel like I'll open to new things, new additions. If you have someone who clearly knows what they're doing and could incorporate a new character, male or female, dead or not, or whatever the case may be, into it, and you feel like this can work. This doesn't feel like Joe's rubbing himself down right now.
Oh no! I put a.
See, you slowly started rubbing your face underneath there.
No, I ripped a piece of paper towel and I shoved it up into my mask into my forehead, and it took it off of my eyeball so I can see better now, because this is a new tight hole I got, and I had to open it up so now I can see better. Oh Jesus!
You like tight holes there, Joe?
I just God, what a way to phrase it. But no, it was I couldn't. Never mind. I don't want to say it again. Oh my Jesus.
I think what we need to do is we need to legit find a way to kind of do like Jake Juggalo. We need to find a way to get Joe like a luchador mask that looks like Modulok. I feel like that's the best option. It won't be as sweaty, something that he can wash if he wants to. He'll be able to see better.
Would you be willing to wear a big Van Vader mask there, Joe? We could still see part of your face, but you are wearing a mask.
No, that's too much. That's too much skin. Hell, I think even Kane's where he'd have his lower mouth.
So you're just about teasing us there, Joe, huh?
Yeah. I'll just go ahead and keep teasing. But yeah, I'll take a whole luchador type mask I could cover. And this almost looks like a luchador mask when you think about it, except it's cardboard or paper. But yeah, that would be kind of cool. I have to think about that in the future. Emotional is just saying something. Never mind. Just saying. Talking about Joe's sweaty. Never mind. We got to get into the episode.
Well, I do want to bring up something that just got posted in chat. Kevin Sharp said we're at an age where our idols start to leave us, and he's absolutely correct. It's a lot of people that worked on these shows are unfortunately passing away. You can't stop Father Time, and it goes in all things. For me, things always go back to wrestling, and it's depressing sometimes to watch some of those old shows and 3/4 of the roster are gone. I'm just like, man. And
so young too. A lot of them so young.
Yeah, and ones that just pop up and you kind of forgot that they were gone for a second.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
I know, Larry, I'm not done, Joe. Quit trying to rush me along here.
No. I was going to rush. I was going to mention to tell everybody, remember, stick around after we do the commentary, because we'll be doing all the questions too. But go ahead.
I want to throw this out because with this last week when we were off air, if you have anything that's not even Master in the Universe related, you can ask us that too. Don't feel like you have to come up with something He-Man related to ask us. If you want to, ask Joe where he gets his groceries. You want to ask Nathan, if he likes, Coors Banquet or something like that. You can ask that.
Dude, Coors, I officially dubbed that the Cobra Kai, because that's what Johnny
Which comes out next month. Cobra Kai season 2 next month. Is it the 24th? Yep, and then Stranger Things will be coming out in July for Stranger Things season 3. So lots of good stuff coming.
Stranger Things, July 4th. Happy birthday to me. That's gonna be a good birthday present. That's probably what I'll spend my birthday doing, is just watching Stranger Things season 3.
Yeah, I'll be inside my apartment like while fireworks are going right outside my house here down from Bradford Park. I'll be in here watching Stranger Things.
Well, I'm sure I'll probably do like I did last year and have Tyler and a couple other people do like a little fire on the back patio back here or something. And I got a grill, so maybe we can do like hamburgers and hot dogs or something. I don't know.
And then we could talk about the story of Jason around the campfire, and then Joe could jump out like a loincloth while wearing his modulock mask because he refused to take the damn thing off, even around us. And
no matter where I go, yeah.
Shake around his sweaty tight hole.
Like, tight holes. You know.
Back
and like
to you,
those spears with like a foam in there, you can just kind of bend the tip of the spear there, and he's just, you know. And then he's like running around getting it, seeing Joe's ass. Like, Nathan, I have to ask you, did you find it a bit unnecessary to see the crack in Joe's, you know, loincloth there? Yes. I'm referencing Wayne's World 2 when I say that. So, how about the weird naked Indian, the weird naked Amato? You know,
that'd be me.
It'd be like wolfing all over again.
Yeah. He's like running around like Edward James almost, you know, hanging around this dinghy all over the place, acting like a wolf. Man, Tyler, we're doing a horrible job of celebrating Larry DiTillio here, people.
Well, go ahead. You go back. You were getting back to it. Go ahead,
Yes,
T-Rex.
but I just want to, you know, thank him so much for, because Granomir has been with me since I can remember. The word dark smoke itself, I think of just the Dragon's Gift itself with the ice trolls. I know the ice hacker showed up in the mini comic, but I give credit to Larry for Granomir, so that's why I kind of feel like the mini comic may have come somewhere connected to Larry DiTillio, because Granomir appeared in a role-playing game that he created along with Dark Smoke, or that he worked on, I believe. I don't know the specifics about that for you role players out there, so don't come at me with, you know, well, this and that. And I just know the original creations of Larry that showed up in a role-playing game. And Chakotay, he said he wanted to write a scary story, and by God, he did it. And he's aware that fans thought it was the scariest episode, and he was very enthusiastic to know that. I wish I could have talked to him and told him how much I loved, you know, his creations of Mask and Chakotay and Granomir. He gave us the Return of Granomir with a Shadow Wing and the Time Corridor, which was like an accursed script that no one could seem to crack the shell on, and he gave us that. We got Fang Man in that episode. So I just feel like in Huntara, he's responsible for coming up with that character, and She-Ra. Like the name, as far as I know, was his creation as well, and getting that series up and running, coming up with the backstory for everything. So Larry's has a lot to be thanked for. He's responsible for a lot of the stuff that we as fans we know of. We get excited, especially when we see Kevin Sharp drawing Chakotay. We have Larry DiTillio to thank for that, because Kevin would not be drawing that if not for Larry DiTillio. I really wish I could have. That would have been on my bucket list of celebrities, and I had hoped we would have got Larry on this podcast. You know, it's not like I didn't try. A lot of these guys are very hard to get in contact with. Like their information is just not out there. And I just didn't take it upon myself to say, "Hey James, can you give me his email or ask or something like that?" It was just, you know, I just felt like it was just not a very cool thing to do. And like I could not get it on my own. I wasn't going to go out of my way. Unless we had someone like Danielle who just hooked us up with Robbie London like that, because, you know, she's a sweetheart like that. He's a name that I started recognizing as I got a little bit older. I was recognizing with these certain episodes his name was attached to it. So he became the first writer of the series that I was like, oh, Larry DiTillio, and then Robbie London and Paul Dini would follow right after that. But you know. I want to ask you guys, well, that's my thoughts on Larry. I know Nathan's not as familiar with him, but he has watched some of the episodes. Joe, of course, is quite familiar. Do you guys have any thoughts on him?
Well, you know, what's weird is when you look back at the episodes that sometimes seemed like they meant a lot to us and the most memorable, it's ones that coincidentally then his name seemed like was attached to. I mean, even ones like, you know, Search for the Past. I think he worked with somebody else on that as well when he wrote it. But just I remember knowing that, oh my God, King Randor, his father? We're going to see something about King Miro and a whole thing about a crest. You know, just seeing somebody else related to that royal family is something that, again, seemed like it was fascinating. Plus, you mentioned, of course, House of Shikoti 1 and 2, and then Granomir episodes. It's just, there's always things that seemed like, when I heard his name, I was like, it's just a coincidence. I mean, well, I guess not a coincidence. It's just, hell, he wrote some of the ones that I guess meant a lot to people. I mean, even giving us Happy Birthday Roboto, it's like, there's a lot of just,
Disappearing Dragons, which is, it's been a favorite of mine since I was, since I first saw it. He wrote that because it's a Granomir episode and gave us the first appearance of Mecha Neck and Cobra Khan and brought back Webstore and brought in Buzz Off. I mean, that to me that'll always be my first appearance of those characters. I don't care what.
And would you say
order.
Now? Would you say, I would like to think that he wrote those morals for his episodes as well? I don't know if that was product placement or coincidence, but it seemed like a lot of the ones that had certain morals, really strong ones about not judging others and other things, I wanted to believe that hopefully he wrote them. I know that Deucin might be able to say he didn't, or Dushin, I'm sorry, might say he didn't, but do you know, Tyler, if he might have wrote those morals, or we'll never know?
I mean, as for, I know the morals were attached, so there may have... I think obviously the writers would know what they. I mean, they may have actually tried to even base the moral based on what the writer came in, because I've never really seen anything really explained in depth in terms of how the morals were established and how they were addressed. Like, here, this is what we want in this episode, or they say, hey, there was an episode about animal cruelty. I mean, it just. Well, that'll be the moral. We'll make that. We'll have He-Man say, treat your animals with kindness and things like that. So I haven't really seen anything on that, because just in all interviews and anything that I've seen, this just kind of brushed over a little bit, because there were some genuinely good morals, not just some that say, hey. Look both ways before crossing the street.
Yeah, there were some quickies, because exactly, some of those episodes had those really quickies, or it didn't seem like it meant some, but it seemed like, at least with a good majority of his, it always was something really heartfelt, it seemed like. And Grimbot in the chat room said that would probably be something to ask James Etok. Maybe James could possibly know. Yeah. So, but yeah, I appreciate that, Grim.
But and Larry also gave us the Faceless one from NYP, in addition to Evelyn's backstory, and he gave us the episode where I can't believe I'm forgetting this. Price of Deceit from NYP. I mean, because Larry did quite a few episodes with it. I know he wanted to bring back Shikoti, and for whatever reason, I think they put the kibosh on that NYP or something like that. But Nathan, I need to get your thoughts on Larry.
Well, I mean, obviously. When it comes to most things, and I think that's what a lot of people have a tendency with any animated shows, is most of us have a tendency to gloss over how many people contribute and work on these things. We see it on the screen and we're just like, oh yeah, okay. And you don't really process just how much goes into it. So I unfortunately not super familiar, but I think the beauty of this podcast is it's great that both of you know, and you can say all this stuff. And Tyler, that was very like heartfelt and good. All the stuff you went across and covered what he contributed to the show. Man, once again, I'm like, train of thoughts just off the mark.
That's fine. That's fine.
Joe's like, it's okay. You're off the show.
No. No, I mean, it's fine. I mean, hell, we'll be jumping into an episode he did in just a couple minutes when Tyler transitions.
All right, then I'll say this, because I've talked to Joe and Private about this many times over the years. I don't mind her, but I never could ever grasp the fascination with Katrina. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, she's not a bad character, but I also kind of feel like I don't get the fanfare for the character at all. I'm glad she's got her own figure, and I'd like to have it myself, but I just felt like there was all this, at times felt like aggression, like, we gotta have her, the hell with everybody else. I just like, why? Because I used, as a kid, I didn't like Cat and the Spider. I honestly didn't.
No?
I thought Webstore was a great addition, but other than that, I didn't think it was a very fun episode. Malacta being in it, there's another one. Malacta, Larry DiTillio creation as well. The first prominent black character in the show. And he also like the emphasis on reading too. That was an addition of his too in the Dragon's Gift, and something he kind of liked to push. But I've never understood why people thought she was such a great character, because I didn't think she did a whole lot in the episode. She's a great looking character visually, but it was just one of those things like I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Well, I guess I don't know. That's the thing when you see different types of creatures and species. And for me, I'll admit, I did. I liked her a lot. I thought it was just refreshing to see a different kind of female character. And also somebody, like you said, maybe it didn't seem like she did too much, but when she was doing stuff, at least seemed like she was nimble, agile, just like a cat, which I liked. I liked seeing her action and in motion. And when she even, I guess we probably say it as we do the episode, but I enjoyed her. It was a different look, a different character, and one that seemed like was doing some good stuff when shown. That's why I won't say it until we start doing this episode. But of course, and like I said, then you add Malaxa to the mix, and adding with seeing Webstore and some crazy vehicle that I can't wait to talk about when we see it for its brief appearance. So, but yeah, I think we might as well save it for that. It's gonna be fun when we get into it, because I enjoyed the episode.
I think it's good for world building to see different species and characters and the like. But going back to that, I just want to say again that it's great that you guys have the knowledge that you do, and we can recognize him and his work and what he did for the mythology. Because obviously, like without him and most of the other guys, like this podcast wouldn't exist. So
yeah,
thank you, Larry, for everything that you've done.
Yeah, definitely. I mean he's that's why I'm so upset. I envy anybody that got to meet that man or converse him or shake his hand or tell him how much you loved his work. I envy you tremendously, because that was something I only had dreamed of doing. Because his work, I mean, I always held it in high regard for years, even before I found out all the people who worked on this and who worked on that. Larry was probably one of the first names I attached to someone who worked on He-Man in my early years of learning and kind of studying the series and the toy line and stuff like that. Larry was probably one of the first names, if not the first name, I can remember associating with, this character and that character kind of thing. So we have a lot to be thankful for the man. So we hope our listeners and viewers will enjoy the commentary for an episode that I have grown to appreciate more as I've gotten older. And I rewatched it just for the hell of it, because I actually watched it not too long ago anyway, just for fun anyway. And it's grown on me. I wouldn't put it in the top 10, but it's still like it's a fun kind of Saturday night popcorn episode. Kind of it has an Indiana Jones kind of feel to it, and certain episodes I always feel like you'd watch like on a 11 o'clock spot on a Saturday night. They have that kind of action adventure late night feel to it, and this episode has that going for it, I think.
Yep, there is a lot in this. And Omegator, thank you for joining us. But Nathan, you tell everybody where they can click, and then when they're ready for that, Tyler's going to tell them what to do next.
Yeah, just check out the link down below. It's the first one right there. I forgot to put the watch with us part, but it's that first link. Go ahead and click on it. And I guess when Tyler gives us the countdown, and also hello to Maharu the Fox and Motu Fan 1 for popping in.
Motu Fan 1. All right. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Tyler.
All right. 3, 2, 1, action.
And I made sure to get past all those advertisements.
Yeah, I did too.
I was like, I only got 50 advertisements here. And luckily, at least they were ones that would just click up and wasn't actually one that went to a video. I hate when that happens. But
well, they really overloaded commercials. I mean, I have YouTube Red, so I don't have to worry about it. But I remember trying to watch a lot of episodes on YouTube. I'm like, God almighty, man, for 22 minutes. There's just an ungodly amount of commercials through this thing.
Yeah, I've never seen that many before.
Geico and Progressive car insurance commercials. This country's obsessed with car insurance.
But speaking of the YouTube, well, I think they changed from YouTube Red to YouTube Premium. I actually have that on my personal account, but not on the one that we have to do this show. So I had to like scroll through, click off all that other stuff. Oh man.
Well, I miss it. I used to love when they showed the Sorceress and Man-at-Arms and Orko together in that splash back in the day watching on TV, because I knew, this is going to be one of the new episodes. Because then when they do the other one where they just show like Hal Sutherland or something quickly, how it did it, I was like, I remember being disappointed as a kid. Like, it's an old one.
Yeah, I was going to say the chat had there as well to Larry. Because they were doing the toast to Larry.
I like the music here that we
Yeah.
come to know quite familiar.
And you got a buff-looking Malactha because in some of the later... Yeah.
Yeah, so you people out there, you assholes, like, oh, we don't need a Malactha here, people, you know. It's just another reason to take your comment, shove it up your ass.
Yeah. Like I say, he's the archaeologist. He appeared in a ton of episodes.
Malactha does forearm workouts like I do.
I think you should change it from shoving it up your ass to shove it up Joe's tight hole.
Yeah, there you go. Take it and shove it up Joe's tight hole. Yeah, I like that.
I always like seeing mysterious things in the background, not knowing what was going on. But and of course, it shows, Malactha, he's the one. He usually can figure out some kind of puzzles. We need a figure of him. My God, he's been in enough episodes. He's been in a ton of episodes.
I mean, if Super 7 does like another Filmation sub where it's just, more variants, but they throw in Malactha, I will break down and buy that to get that Malactha figure. As much as it's going to suck to pay another $155.
Yeah. I thought he would have been a little more careful here, especially with, kind of being the guy that should know what to do. But
I was going to say, he's so good at puzzles, and yet he didn't look down to clearly see that the floor is rigged as a trap.
This when it was happening, I remember as a kid, was scaring the hell out of me because you seen it looked like they were going so, quick to crush him. And I was like, say it real quick and jump down there. Because I was figuring by the time he was done, Malactha could be crushed. I really was. I was panicked.
It's like, you had to take the time to sit here and transform. He's already crushed.
Exactly. Just say it quick and get the hell down there. But you always love seeing him. I love seeing when they would show his feats of strength. That's why you watch a cartoon. It's for the fantasy, the powers, and stuff like this. This is the interesting stuff you want to see in cartoons or in movies. That's what we usually like seeing. Boy, he looked really wiped out there, too. Yeah. He looked like he just took...
Well, I'm sure he probably felt, on his back and knocked the hell out of his head. So, yeah, he probably has got quite a concussion right now.
That's what I look like when Doug's trying to send me a message. Hey, are we doing Are you awake?
Just leaned up against the wall and...
I said it before, man. 60-hour work weeks. That's too much sometimes.
I like that though. He-Man's saying basically, you take a break, you relax. I'll go check out and see what's going on inside. So it was Malactha's time to at least rest up a little bit, especially after, like you said, getting a concussion. But I always wanted to. Every time they would show something in the background, I was always obsessed trying to say, "Oh, is that somebody we know? Is this something we're going to see?" When they show those, and then, like you said, look at these booby traps. So. I mean, think of the first one. First is a pit that could have probably killed somebody. Then a rock that big would have just crushed somebody and just killed them. I was like, they weren't playing. Whoever built this temple, this shrine, whatever they're guarding must be something very, very valuable because they don't want anybody to get out. Because instant death, like even that. You know what I mean? I thought these were very frightening traps because they weren't meant to just stun people. It looks like they were there to kill them.
Which has got Rose of the Lost Ark written all over it, clearly trying to keep out intruders and thieves. So, especially too, since this temple has essentially just kind of been left on its own. I mean, it's guarded, but not in the traditional sense. Like they're, obviously the guy that works for King Paul there that's spying on him. I can't. He's not name checked. I know his name is in James's book, but I can't think of it right now. But.
And, even the trap to where He-Man went down into the ground and jumped up through, it makes you wonder, would that have been the only way that they could have got past that? Or if somebody like Malactha would have solved the puzzle, could have got through that little barrier a different way. You know what I mean? You figured it would have been different.
I didn't take it as everything had puzzles, though. I took it as that, it kind of to get in, but everything else is strictly, continue on at your own risk kind of thing.
Yeah, because that one, you were not going to make it through that magic barrier unless there was something else. So unless you were He-Man busted, you know what I mean? You had to go through the floor and up. And I like seeing this. I liked when somebody could kind of best He-Man. It made it a little more suspenseful and action-packed and anxious just to see that thing jumping, kind of getting the best of He-Man at times. And then seeing this was different.
And the sound effect that they used is kind of scary. Is it Yeah, just like the pitch of it and how loud they made it. That would definitely make me anxious as a kid watching this.
Yes, it is just like Res Lost Ark grabbing the artifact right there at the center of it all, and
it kind of makes you think again too. You never really looked at it, but that's as the episode goes on, they kind of touched on a thing that I was thinking as I was watching this, thinking, I kind of went in there. I know they wanted to, excavate and see these ancient treasures and stuff. But when you see later how the other side looks at it, you think, well, they kind of went in there and stole that in a way. But you get the gist
they
of
pretty
it
much
later.
do. Like, there's not, you don't really even have to see, the cat people's perspective on it. They walk into a place that's clearly been sealed up and doesn't want intruders.
Yeah,
so
like right here. You get it right here when he's talking to King Paul, and when this whole thing, this conversation back and forth goes on, you think, well, Jesus, I mean, it's like anybody coming in your house and stealing your stuff. They're not in the wrong. These cat people, they didn't do nothing wrong. They've been having this sacred treasure that they've been trying to guard for a reason. It's theirs. And, just got stolen by He-Man, damn thief. No, go ahead, Tyler.
No, yeah, I mean, and the reason for all the traps is not just for the sake of action adventure moments for He-Man, but it's like, we don't want people grabbing a hold of this thing. So we'll entrust it to us and do everything you possibly can to keep people from getting to it. And Katrina's got one sexy pose there hanging out in the window there.
She does. She was really memorable for me. Like I said, I quite enjoyed her in the cartoon. She was just a different character that we've never seen before. And like somebody said in the chat room, they were saying, people sometimes they love cat characters like Thundercats, and well, you got another cat character, but yeah, and I always wonder what the hell was that on her leg, but it was good to see later that we actually see that in use, because I never understood what I was looking at. I was like, what is this? Is it just like a little wand sticking on her leg? But it's good to see later.
What do you think? Is something you're going to, in a minute of seduction, you're going to slide it off her leg there, Joe? And then she puts it back on just trying to tease you, Yeah,
me, it's a damn teasing Joe the whole time. But yeah, they have this thing. Now they have this thing sitting there. And what do you say?
I just see Joe with like his roll of quarters. Like, here, take this. Leave me alone. I don't know.
Or a little Ziploc bag of like pennies and dimes. It's also a weapon too. Like, a hooker tries to steal Joe's money, just knocks the hell out of her and gets the pimp out of there too. And
soccer quarters.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Well, now they're going to leave this thing all by its lonesome, which then leads to this. Again, every time he was watching them, I used to always think I like this coming up here.
Yeah, this is a great introduction.
The back and forth between him and Webstore.
Yeah, something we didn't get to see a whole lot of after this episode, but it was a great way of, because this is the first episode of season 1 too. So I like that Larry's, chooses to,
beautiful picture.
Yeah. It's
and then you see one thing that things does, it shoots out fire. But yeah, I did like seeing that Webstore is somebody that wasn't basically, he wouldn't take no crap from Skeletor. He's right there, calls him a name, he calls him a name back. But like I said, I like to see the action stuff, the little flipping around, but then as you see here, Tila gets her little shot, but Katrina, she's a cat. Got to land on your feet, or at least you're supposed to. So I like that too. It was like what they were trying to do there. And here comes old Webstore.
Yeah, Webstore checking out the view, so to speak.
So look at that tight hole there.
Like with me in my eyes. I used to get so giddy seeing Webstore though, especially because I love the toy and the gimmick with the grappling hook. So when I could see that and see him in action, well,
hey, there you go, Super 7. Let's get bedtime Prince Adam variant.
Don't even say that, Nathan, because that might happen.
I'm sure they have hey, believe me, I'm sure it has crossed their minds and it'd be a gold mine. We can get more money out of people from the lame ass variant.
But look at, and there she didn't land on her feet, but she was knocked out, and then we got to see the grappling hook, and then coming up in a bit is the thing that I remember. When it happens, it's so quick, and I was like, what was that? Which is Indushin. Right there. It's a Wind Raider, but it has like spider legs on it. I was like, was it ever name dropped? And I think Dushin said it wasn't called anything, but I might be wrong. So
no.
But I thought that was fascinating, seeing a Wind Raider that was slightly different. But instead of He-Man using a Wind Raider, he uses the Talon Fighter. And I always like seeing the Talon Fighter anytime too.
Me too, because that was something that the Talon Fighter, because I can only name 3 episodes it appeared in.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't used that much. I don't think Nathan got as excited as we did to see the Talon Fighter, but
I always love seeing it.
Well, I was just like thinking it's cool to think about that maybe like someone took one of those out for a spin and like messed up and crashed it, and he took it and modified it and made it his own.
Yeah, and here they go. I love this
with Webster being a thief. I actually wouldn't. That would be an interesting idea that he steals a Wind Raider, takes it back to Snake Mountain, Trapjaw modifies it.
Yeah. Could have been.
And uses that as, Good idea, Nathan.
Ooh.
Yep, and I like that
good.
conversation.
Yep.
Yep, that conversation back and forth right there, where basically they said, "Oh, we're getting nowhere," because they were both accusing each other of who's a thief, back and forth. And you did start. That's when you really thought about. It. I was like, "Wow, they are the ones that stole from the cat people.
Yep.
It wasn't the other way around." So,
but I mean, it works because these people have kind of kept secluded for so long. So yeah, you would kind of think. I like this shot, the POV shot of the Talon fighter, coming up behind the web. I always thought like the Spider Raider or something like that.
Yeah, that's. I couldn't remember. I think I did that too.
Not
I name dropped. I said no, but hey, I think it was something so easy that's what I did when I screen capped it like a couple years ago. I think I did call it the Spider Raider because it's like it just seemed like it worked. But at least we didn't have to see the Talon fighter. The one thing I can't remember the episode. I know you'll like. Is the one where he parked it right in front of Castle Grayskull and was just floating in the air. Something about it annoyed me. Didn't he do that with the Talon Fighter? He-Man or somebody, they parked it right in front of Grayskull and jumped into the drawbridge? Or am I just making something up in my head?
That might have been Orca's favorite uncle.
Okay. Oh, I just didn't. I remember as a kid, I couldn't stand that part. How it turned it and just parked it in the air at this weird angle. Oh, it just drove me nuts. But... yeah, but I like this. I like how when he was looking at it, it's like, you basically could get the gist of it that He-Man's looking at a small monitor, looking at Teela, because you see on that big monitor how he's looking over at her. I always like seeing anything that's just slightly different. But he's warning Teela was letting He-Man know about the Grimalkin, that there's something in that if Skeletor gets that and releases this, it's something that could just destroy the planet. So Skeletor doesn't even know. He's wanting to know about the power, but he doesn't even know what can be released from this thing.
I like seeing Skeletor actually using a book and trying to research himself. Like, not everything is strictly like shoot first, ask questions later. He's pretty much, I'm going to take my time and figure out what the hell this thing is. Like, I like to see that moment.
Yep.
I like how He-Man just like walks right in there. It's like, hey,
I'm up in here. Yeah, exactly.
As many times as He-Man has had to go to Snake Mountain, I'm sure at this point there's not a whole hell of a lot of ways that he's probably hasn't figured out how to get into Snake Mountain.
I can just imagine he's just like, all right, do this again, I suppose.
Yeah.
In a little struggle, this is what's... yeah, I always like this because there's like a struggle with him and Skeletor, and then bam, there's a stun to knock him out. And they still have their words back with Webstor and Skeletor.
Yeah, there should have been more depictions of Webstor like this, just kind of hanging around Snake Mountain like this. Like it's
just hanging around being a smart ass. Skeletor says something and he just disagrees with him for the sake of doing it. Yeah.
Even if he's not like he's gonna be the henchman of the episode, he's in the council chamber, kind of conversing, as like a confidant for Skeletor, kind of like a Cobra Khan would be too. And just Skeletor respects him because he throws it right back, whereas like Beastman would kind of eventually start cowering back. So I like that about Webstor. And I still want to see some action of Webstor, hanging around the mouth of Snake Mountain, because that seems like the most dangerous point of Snake Mountain. I just think it would be really cool to see him depicted like that, battling somebody in the mouth.
This part here, I was convinced that Katrina was going to try to jump out and do something to like save Teela. I didn't expect the crash. I remember that shocked me as a kid, but at least to know that, of course, they're okay. And then I was like, wait a second, she did do something, and it was that crazy thing on her leg, so it has another purpose. So I like seeing that it has multi-purposes, that thing was like a tool to shoot out fire and something that popped out a claw attachment. So, and here we go. Uh-oh.
Yeah, here comes, to me, just sort of odd.
Battle Cat.
Was it weird to you guys at all? Or you're just like...
I found it so fascinating to see that Battle Cat is getting hit on. I mean, we know about the temptation of Pretty Kitty before, but with seeing Katrina actually flirting, I thought that was different.
I mean, as a kid, though, she comes off as more human, though. So you kind of you look at Battle Cat as strictly animal-like, where she just has features of a cat. So yeah, when I first saw it, I was kind of like Nathan, like. I
just found it just hilarious. I just got the biggest kick out. When I was a kid, I was like, "Oh my god, she's flirting with Battle Cat. Battle Cat's gonna have a girlfriend." And you're right. I know. She is the humanoid more look, but what the heck?
I buy it more now. Though. Yeah,
do what you gotta do. I guess I don't know. Do what you can. But yeah, I like the little fight between her and Webstor too. Like I said, the cat and the spider. I like kind of.
Yeah, I wish this had been used a lot more. The animation of him launching it and then leaping into action. I'm like, God, I wish we could have seen a lot more of that.
Yeah. And even this part here, when like I said, well, of course she does her cool landing, but I remember that made it look like it really hurt. I was like, oh my God, if you had your head caught in some glass, your throat's gonna be all cut up. But to me as a kid, taking things way too seriously.
He better have bladed his forehead. That way he can bleed.
Yep. Juice.
Yeah. Yep, still ain't falling for it. Don't want to listen to what's going on, but you're going to find out in a second, Skeletor, that what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be doing. I like this weird face He-Man makes.
Yeah.
What? But yeah, and here we go. And this is the other thing I love. Sometimes there was those big creatures that would show up and we're like, but this thing, I was like, oh man, look at that big son of a... He is frightening looking. That would be a cool-ass figure. Imagine having a giant of him. That is.
Joe, you can't have that. They got to make bedtime Prince Adam. All right.
Yeah.
bedtime
Priorities, Joe.
Yeah, I like that. Skeletor's like, I'm out. And this thing kept getting bigger and bigger. I was like, holy Jesus! I thought he was gonna. I thought Snake Mountain was gonna collapse in this episode. I had no clue what was happening because it sure looks like it's completely coming down. So they got out of there.
There's a really cool promo for the series that on the USA Network. That's which is how I used to watch it, and it features Captain the Spider prominently.
That's like a really weird
prom photo. It's a prom photo. I always thought it looked like they were like going to prom or something. That was a weird. I know what you mean. It was a weird shot. And when she even got her hands on He-Man, everybody's getting up on He-Man. Son of a gun. But yeah, she's like, she'll try to do something. If there could be a distraction, see what's going on here. They'll figure out how to stop this son of a gun, especially knowing that it's only a type of storm that can get rid of them. I'm glad it wasn't just rain, because I was like, oh, that would have kind of been a sucky way to get rid of the Grimulkin, is just have them get rained on. But at least a little something more starts to come, which is cool. No, she got to. No, I'm not going to.
Would it be weird to say Katrina gets the ride?
I was just going to say, did you hear me? I was like, I'm not going to finish the statement. But look, and this is why I liked how when Battle Cat got on that Grimulkin's head, it showed the size of that son of a gun. Now you can see the comparison. You knew he was a big giant sucker, but you really couldn't get the.
I swear, I thought you were going to say, if he says son of a gun for the 4th time here in 2 minutes.
Oh, sorry, I did.
And we get a little educational lesson here. I just imagine Joe taking some table salt and putting it in the freezer, and then he runs outside and tries to throw it up in the air to like make it rain.
I can see Joe doing that.
I remember grabbing things though when I was a kid, and I used to do that He-Man kind of, and I'd like imitate it like I was throwing it. Geez, it would be the lightest thing, and I thought I was doing something. But see, just a little rain ain't gonna do something. But
this is great animation here of him channeling, lightning from the sky.
Bam! And harnessing that. Picture that. You imagine if you got, lightning going through you. That's gonna kill most people. So it was a big juice.
He-Man actually took a big hit from that. Like I like it. Just a brief moment to say, He-Man can't walk away from everything untouched like that. So I thought it was a nice detail.
It was. And now you see the Grimulkin thing back to a statue once again. And earlier, poor Battle Cat didn't fall on. He didn't land on all his legs. He landed on his back, and he looked scared. It was kind of a weird moment when you did see that part where he was on his back, scared. Battle Cat usually doesn't shake like that.
I will say, looking at her conversing with Prince Adam in the group here, like she looks like someone that could have appeared in more episodes. Honestly, like someone that you could easily see visiting the Royal Palace in this episode, and goes like this animation of her and Tila. Like it's I'm sincere when I say I've come around more to the character, but in terms of like the fanfare, I just couldn't quite get it. But I certainly could see her being used, not in something cat-based, but just she is an ally of the heroic warriors, like someone that you could see at the Royal Palace as an ambassador for the cat people, but would go on adventures with them as well.
Yep, and blowing a kiss to Battle Cat wherever Battle Cat is. God himself I'd be blushing too. And then they have the nice little moral here, which is...
hey, man, this still applies. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yep.
Get to know people a little bit, and then you can decide if you don't like them or not.
Exactly. Before you call a podcast doo-doo or dodo, why don't you go ahead and watch a little bit more of it? Know these people. No.
No, I like that a lot. It'd be funny if they would just pop in on this one and be like, yeah, this stream is dodo.
And there you have it. Cat and the Spider.
Was a great episode. Great episode. And there'll be more to come that we'll be doing commentary, of course. There's tons of episodes that we haven't even touched yet. Not even discussed. Not just doing the commentary, but in any aspect. So, but now, yes, before we get into some other things, again, you guys can ask us any questions, whether it's from the cartoon, mini comics, movie, and like Tyler said, even other stuff. You just want to ask some random things of like maybe some of the movies that we liked, your thoughts on movies, video games, anything you could think of. But I did want to acknowledge 3 other people who left messages, because I forgot to say that at the beginning. There was Final Fury graphic novel, who reached out and said some kind words last week. Anthony Albanese, and Maharu the Fox was actually joined us in here, but yeah, Maharu said something as well. So thank you for joining us, and always Stephen Brick AFOL said something as well. Thank you. But any questions you have, go ahead and do it. But Tyler, did you have anything you wanted to recommend or say before we get into some of the fans' questions?
Keeping up the spirit of Larry DiTillio, I'd recommend checking out the Time Corridor, because I know Fangman is acknowledged, but the episode is actually quite good. Triclops is in it, is one of the 2 prominent evil warriors in it. It's a fun story. It's a fun action adventure story. Dragosaur Isle back in the past, trying to stop Skeletor from building a fortress in place of Castle Grayskull in the past, with the Snake Clan and the Ape Clan and stuff. It's a kick-ass episode. So Skeletor's got one kick-ass throne in that episode too. Just seen that one episode, but that's something I look forward to covering with you guys at some point, and I recommend that episode, this week. The Time Corridor from season 1.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you for that. And
you're welcome, Joe.
Thank you, sir. And Grimbot actually said that was the only time we see scared Battle Cat. So that was the only time we did see it, which was weird. It was a little uncomfortable for me. Adam Gabbert says, Joe, Tyler, and Nathan, I need an honest answer. Would the Masters of the Universe fans be okay with the new He-Man show on TV as puppets for the future if someone makes one? I don't think for younger kids, maybe they would. I don't think I would enjoy it. It'd be weird because I don't know. But Tyler, Nathan, for me, honestly, Adam, it would be different.
I don't think it would work as a TV show now. Maybe as like little shorts that are put on YouTube to potentially promote other things. Then, yeah, I could see that being a cool little novelty project. It depends on the creative forces behind it and how they want to treat it, obviously. But I think it would be fine if done properly. And that kind of applies to anything. If they take the time and put the effort in and go about crafting good stories instead of just trying to look at this, look at that, then anything is possible. Anything can work when done properly. So it would be neat.
Tyler. Okay. Tyler. Tyler's dead silent. I think that gives you your answer. Okay.
I take my He-Man stuff seriously, and puppets, like, that's just, we're not too far from doing Thundercats Roar. I just I wouldn't be behind that idea. No.
Yeah, it's different. That's what I said. It's just different. But thank you for that, Adam. Do appreciate that, though. Definitely. Zentron had a movie quote, says, "We're 100 years old today. The weatherman is trying to spoil it. He says we may be in for rain tonight. From where I'm sitting, it looks like clear skies." That really does sound familiar, but I don't know. Tyler, Nathan, do you know? Damn, that does sound familiar, that last part. From where I'm sitting, it looks like clear skies.
I'm going to go with It Takes Two with the Olsen twins and Steve Guttenberg.
Crying out loud. We're going to have to wait and see what you do at the end, Zentron, because I don't know it yet. Don't know if we do. Zentron has a question. Says, what other fantasy sword and sorcery anime shows do you guys like? Well, Zentron, for me, it was Dungeons and Dragons. Absolutely loved that cartoon as a kid. So wanted to see them get home. The episode where they got home, but Venger followed them and threatened to destroy their world unless they came back. It just sucked so badly. And to know that they did have it written out, it's on the if you get the box set with the DVD that has it all, they did complete it. They just never animated it. It's just I don't know why. And they had great ratings. They even said the ratings were not bad for that. It just they stopped and they canceled it before you got the last episode. So for me, absolutely Dungeons and Dragons. Loved it. What about you guys?
I mean, Thundercats is a no-brainer because that's my number 2 cartoon property of all time anyway. Black Star. I don't know it that well, but I like the mythology. I like the characters a lot. I've seen a few of the episodes. I like the visual designs of the characters. I've seen Axel draw a couple of them, which look fantastic. Kevin in the room.
Yeah, he should still be lingering around somewhere.
Kevin, if you're hearing this, we've got to see a sample of like Overlord or one of the Palace Guards or Nepthul. I think it's one of the characters. Triton, excuse me, or Nepthul. Damn it, the underwater villain of the line. But Black Star, like to see Kevin draw Black Star, like and that would be phenomenal. So that would be something I would love to see Kevin draw too.
He already says hell yeah.
All right, cool. But outside of that, I can't really recall in terms of like I remember thinking Skeleton Wars was all right in the 90s when it was on. I didn't watch it religiously, but I thought it was kind of cool. But Visionaries, I like the line, but I can't tell you much about the toys other than they look cool and the cartoon look cool too, and that's really bad. It has a kick-ass intro too. Visionaries. Strictly Swords and Sorcery, I think that's pretty much about it because everything else is kind of action adventure, from like Bionic 6, Dino Riders, G.I. Joe, Turtles.
Yeah, mine was just gonna be Thundercats because I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, there weren't too many.
As big as it was, weren't that many cartoons based on a lot of that, honestly.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And Sportimus has one for you, Tyler. Said, what Masters of the Universe variants would you like to see, or which ones do you already have that you do like? So I guess he means for figures for you, Tyler. Which ones maybe would you like to see variants of, or are there any variants that you like figure-wise already?
Well, if it's the vintage line, I like all the variants because it was just one a year and they weren't, shoving them down your throat. So in that regard, I'm cool with all those. But outside of like legitimate variants, I really can't think of another variant of something. Because we got all the toy variants from the vintage line and classics. We're getting movie figures, thank God. Maybe like of like a concept character, like the character, like I look at some of the concept drawings for a lot of the characters that evolved, like Black Widow would become Webstore, or trying to think of some other, like Transparent Man, which was like a precursor to Roboto. Some of that stuff
What about even like the sorceress that they had for that, the guide that they sent out to everybody when they were promoting the Filmation cartoon, that kind of different looking sorceress that she had, like, I believe it looked like she was kind of pink or purplish, but a completely different design. That was the one. I have that guide too. I have that book. It might even, I don't know if I have it up here.
I
Damn,
like how Joe's got to cover the side profiles of his face. Now imagine Joe would just like reach off to the side. Oh, here it is.
Damn it, it's downstairs.
But everything in the floor, so he just kind of kicks stuff and he's throwing stuff. You see like books and cats fly past the camera.
Damn. I hate it that I don't have it by me, and I thought that's something I would have.
Joe, just go get it. I can.
Or anxiously post it on your Facebook, and you'll get about 500, likes and comments and shares within the first hour.
Joe, just go get it. I can read more questions in the chat while you do that.
Well, he's doing it, people.
Sportimus asks, what direction would you like to see Super 7 go with the Classics line?
People bitch and complain about, well, I don't know who that character is. He ain't getting my money. I'm like, well, what? That's the whole point, is to educate and show there's more great character designs. You don't just stop at Beastman and Man-at-Arms, for crying out loud. So I want to see more. What?
I just the way that you paused right there, I was like, I didn't know what he was gonna say for a second.
Me or Joe?
Yeah, when you said for crying out loud, I thought you were gonna say something else.
Oh, but I want more. Well-known characters, but they don't have to be variants and stuff like that. So I want your Malactas. I want Geldor and Daikon. I want both versions of Garn. I want this is so rich in mythology. It's more original characters, not variants of characters. I don't care if it's a Filmation variant. I mean, I'm fine with some of them, like Cobra Khan and Webstore and Whiplash and stuff like that. It's only Joe stepping on trees and leaves and stuff.
I mean, it's still not as loud as that time you ate your protein bar on Beyond Retro.
Was it that loud?
Yeah, it was pretty loud.
But yeah, that's where I'd like to see it go, because I just, I get depressed seeing variants, because God knows every toy line, every company in America loves to throw variants down our throats. And if we're going to pay that kind of money for figures, I want original characters, not, some lame, cheap, reason to give us the same damn figure again.
Okay. It's
I
from
thought
this.
that was the one you were talking about.
Yeah, and there is a sorceress that's in there that it's quite noticeable how different she is. If you could see her right there, I don't know if that's in view.
Oh yeah,
Is that,
yeah. I mean, that's I wouldn't mind having
I think
it's not a must because it's still the same character, but
quite a different look though.
It's a different look. See, I'm not opposed to that. Hell, even a new adventure sorceress, if what Super 7 has already said, they don't plan on doing any new adventure figures in the near future, which probably because a lot of fans just piss all over them when they get announced. I don't want that. It's stupid, man. It's just, God. People, I mean, because Kevin, who's in the chat room, has told me he was not that big a fan of New Adventure, but when he sees what the Horsemen have done with the characters, he's okay. I see what they did with Karate and Optic, and so I was like, he gets it after that. That's what you need. Let the Horsemen work their magic, you people. I hate how people come down on the characters. Dump on the cartoon all you want, but there's a lot of good to be had with that. You people have heard me say it before and over again. Characters like Vizar, KO, Hoove, Lizard, they all need to be made into figures. And if you saw them, you could not honestly sit there and say that this is a lame ass character simply because you can't bear the thought that your one opinion that you shared 6 months ago shitting on this property, you're going to get called out on. Just, it's all right to like it, people. So.
No, they do. I mean, there's a lot.
If I can come around to Katrina, you guys can come around to New Adventures, Heroes and Villains.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to get Tyler to change his mind on something.
Yeah, if it's He-Man related, yes. So yeah, if I can do it, you people can too. So.
Yep. All right. I was going to say, while I was gone, was there any questions you asked from the chat room, Nathan? Because I was going to go to the one about what Sportimus said about.
We already we covered that one. Was the next one would be what Zen Brown asked.
Oh, Zen Brown. All right, Zen Brown. Oh no, I do like this because we've seen a couple of them. If they did something at least fun and interesting, because Zen Brown says, how about if the makers of Robot Chicken decided to make a Masters of the Universe special like they did Star Wars? I'd love it because I love every one of the clips they did. The humor they do in that isn't anything that. How we talked about how I don't like the mocking of Masters of the Universe by some pitchers, or how they put it in a tone and a light that's really disrespectful and like just pissing all over it. But the Robot Chicken, they do things with humor. I liked everything they've done with Masters. I remember the Star Wars one, and every Masters of the Universe clip that I've seen them do is hilarious. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but if they did a special, I'd be all for it, honestly, because I like what they do, because they are people who love the 80s properties, they love the toys, and they're just having fun. But Nathan, Tyler, I don't know if you had thoughts?
I need something more serious first before I green light my that's okay if you do that, because I just feel like,
I mean, is this something you'd be against if they made? Would you be against seeing that if they made something like that, or what?
I just not until we have to get something serious where people look at He-Man in a serious light, because if we got Robot Chicken doing it, it just continues the trend of, well, when people think He-Man, they think really bad, lame jokes or juvenile jokes, or He-Man's gay because he wears a loincloth, even though the guy could beat your ass all over the place.
Well, I think with them it's slightly different because they do it with like every property.
I know
it's
that.
fun.
Well, I owned the first season of Robot Chicken.
Yeah,
I'm saying I don't want the continuous trend of He-Man in the public eye. If they do anything regarding, it's strictly jokes.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I need to see something serious, that there's something that they can present it the way it deserves to be treated.
Oh, which would be great. It would.
Then fine. I'm not, because I enjoyed a lot of their stuff. I truly did. I didn't find it offensive to He-Man or anything like that, or any of the other properties. But I just feel like I'm tired of jokes being attached to He-Man. So not until we get something a little bit more respectful, then Robot Chicken or whoever, anybody at Family Guy,
I love Family Guy. Nathan, what about you? What do you think of?
I'm kind of with Tyler in the same boat. I like Robot Chicken. It's kind of the same thing. The commercials that they've done to advertise stuff in He-Man, it's always been kind of like, oh, jokey, look at this. Look, it's laughing Prince Adam. Ah ha ha. Isn't he gay?
Knock this shit off, man.
I'm with Tyler on that. Like, give it the dignity and respect it deserves when you do that, instead of making it kind of like something that every time you see it, it's like, oh yeah, it's the gay guy or whatever. Because that just sucks for people that
if we ever get
are diehard fans.
Yeah, you're right. Someday, if we get a movie, it'd be great. But yeah, I would enjoy a Robot Chicken thing. I do understand what you both mean. I do get what you mean. But
because what they do is funny in an intelligent way. It's not something that like insults it at all. But at the same time,
I like the way they do it. You're right. But I see where you're both come from. I do see that.
I think either way, even if it did come out before, sorry, Joe, if it came out before like the movie or anything, at least it does put eyes on it. In some instances, it might not be what you wanted, but at least there are eyes on the property again. Maybe it will trigger some of those people. Oh yeah, I remember that, and get them into, oh hey, check out the Fans of Power podcast. This guy talks about tight holes.
Yeah. Right. I gotcha. All right. Zentron said the answer was the fog. Oh, okay. See, I know it's been so long. I didn't even know that was. I didn't know that was the fog. And I think I got to scroll up because I missed. There we go. Okay. And Grimbot says you guys need to watch Galtar and the Golden Lance. If Grimbot's suggesting something, I'll definitely watch it because I know he's got pretty good taste with stuff. And if it's something I can find on YouTube here, I'll watch it because I've never seen it before. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen it.
I'm familiar with Galtar and the Golden Lance, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and Zentron said he was pissed about the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon show ending before the last episode too, so you can definitely. JSP said got Black Star on DVD. Kevin Sharp said, hell yeah, that was back to something when, we were talking a long time ago. I'm sorry, Kevin, I couldn't remember what we were getting excited for.
We already Sportimus said, didn't we? So we already covered this.
Besides...
Kevin Sharp said when he was a kid, he saw Ricky Steamboat as Black Star.
Okay. Did you already do the Sportimus? Oh, so I'm assuming you already got Sportimus's questions where he said, besides Masters of the Universe, what other toy lines do you guys... Oh, okay. Sportimus says, besides Masters of the Universe, what other toy lines did you guys like and collect when you were young whippersnappers? I only had Thundercats, and I had Sectars, and I had a lot of little knockoff figures, but that was it. I was never... it was basically we could afford one line to focus on. Like, I had a couple Sectars, couple Thundercats, and others, but... definitely wouldn't have had the money or time to do Transformers or G.I. Joe, and those collections would have been massive.
Oh, considering G.I. Joe was $3 a piece.
But God, there was hundreds and hundreds of those damn figures, wasn't there? There was quite a few. We couldn't have got them all. But Masters of the Universe, and along with that, Sectars, Thundercats.
Nathan?
You guys.
Ninja Turtles was my main go-to. Man. Trying to...
You're bigger than G.I. Joe, no?
Yeah, lots of G.I. Joes. Some of the Hasbro wrestling figures, the Galoob WCW figures. I had pretty much all of those guys, even though there weren't that many. The Kenner line, the Batman Kenner line was another one that I collected a lot of. And even like the Superpowers ones and some of the variants that came along with those. Most of my Masters of the Universe collection came from relatives and then yard sales. There were very few that I actually bought in store that I can recall. But that was mainly it. Turtles for me was the end all be all. And then of course, as I got a little bit older and got into sports, starting lineup figures. Those things aren't worth dick now.
I was hoping he was going to say that.
Yeah, I thought Tyler would appreciate that. Because every time we go to like antique stores and stuff, like toy hunting, you just see them, and it's just depressing to think about.
Well, we went to one up the road, maybe 40 minutes from where I live, and this one shop had tons of them, and Nathan just like started, and he said it with such malice. and those things were dick. Just the way he delivered the word dick. I couldn't stop laughing as we're wandering around this quiet store. It was just funny as hell. That's the thing with Nathan. He's like Jim Cornette. When he cusses, it's how he delivers it. He just can't stop laughing about it. But I dabbled in everything as a kid. Like He-Man was number one, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Turtles, Silverhawks, Dino Riders. I only had one Brave Star figure, but I wanted all of them. I wanted Supernaturals, but didn't own any of them. G.I. Joe was a big one for me, big time. I had two Transformers. I wasn't that into because they were intimidating me. The Spider-Man toy line in the 90s, Batman, that was big with me. Star Wars Powers of the Force, when that came along, that was big. But Bionic 6, that was something I really wanted to get into, but I only had one figure of that. So, but there was quite a few lines that I wanted more of. I mean, hell, even the Commando toy line based on the movie that they did. I was into that. Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos. That was another one I was into. There was a lot of the Karate Kid toy line. I only had one figure from that, but I wanted more of them. Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters. That was another big one.
Oh, I do have some.
I got a few of those Karate Kid ones right there.
Yeah. And I have some of the real Ghostbusters figures, and I had one GoBot. I have Leader 1. That's the only one I have. I still have Leader 1.
That's an excellent one to have too.
Why did I forget about real Ghostbusters? Yes, collected those, and as odd as this is, the Police Academy figures.
I had 2 of those figures.
I had a lot of them. I got them for Christmas one year. I don't know why my parents decided. That was like a random thing, but I got them. Like, this is really awesome.
Yeah, especially the one where his pants fall down. Like, this is funny. Make his shorts fall down. And then the black guy who makes the funny noises. You had like the bullhorn you can make noises with and like blow on it and it makes this loud noise. So
that's Jones. Jones. Yeah, he always did that.
Yeah. I mean, there was even like fast food fighters, barnyard commandos, army ants, Guts. How about the Guts toy line? Nathan had some of those. They were like
I don't know.
2 or 3
you could
packs
count maybe. Mad Balls? Can you count Mad Balls? I don't know. I had some Mad Balls, but I don't know if that's really a figure line.
I would throw Mad Balls. Because all those lines, even Supernaturals, it was just a figure with a hologram on it, essentially. Those are action figures, so
they were cool. Yeah, those were cool too.
Anything like that's why I really wanted Visionaries a lot as a kid, but I never owned a single Visionary figure. Like G.I. Joe figures with holograms on them, like. Oh, this is amazing, especially the card art form, but never owned a single Visionary as a kid.
Yeah, you guys are like getting me to remember some other things I had, because now that we're talking about this, I remember there was something called Mad Scientist. It was this figure that, it was him, and you could even have a dress-up kit to look like him. There was always this weird foam stuff you could do, a slimed kind of monster that had slime and innards, and you could rip open his chest, and the slime would pour out with his guts and heart and everything. Wow, I still got some of that too, so...
Damn. Yeah, I got one right here.
Yes.
Wow, look at that.
He's in the other room. I do have the Mad Scientist in my other room, believe it or not. I do have him. So. Yeah, I am going to stay put. Okay, well, thanks for that one. Mirahu the Fox said, love Skeleton Warriors. Still waiting for a cartoon accurate Cyborn figure. I never had any of the Skeleton Warriors. And yeah, I don't know if that's
I think he had Dagger, which was the 6 arms the Skeleton Warrior. Pretty badass.
Were they toward in the early 90s? Was that when the Skeleton Warriors?
Okay. Yeah, it was early 90s.
Okay, that's when I was just out of all the stuff. So wish I would have seen
stealing from women and
Yeah,
that's when he's making out with chicks by that tree near the train tracks or whatever.
Well, it was like this one garage and there was a tree, but
it was an apple tree, right?
Yeah, Pirates of Dark Waters was good too. Zentron said. Grimbot 2 or Grimbot said Season 2 Filmation Bible has some interesting proposed characters that could be nice figures. Said he thinks that James may have posted them once on his blog before. So I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Omega says Thundar the Barbarian was cool. Oh yeah, Jesus, I don't know how I forgot that earlier. So yes, Thundar the Barbarian.
I never watched it, so that's why I didn't throw that in the loop, and I'd forgotten all about it too. But
and Zentron mentioned one.
That's pretty cool that someone mentioned that.
Yeah, and I never seen that, and I don't even remember Conan the Adventurer that Zentron said. I actually don't. Yeah. I feel bad. I don't.
You can find that on YouTube right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, JSP said, "Oh yeah, I got." Oh, this is probably for you, Tyler. But JSP said, "Oh yeah, I got to meet Alan Oppenheimer last weekend at the Transformers convention." So There you go. I don't know if he
sweet.
got his. I don't know if he got an
hope
autograph.
He didn't look at you. I can't write your name on there. That's too much, kid.
Oh Jesus! Kevin Sharp says, "I want to do a team up of all the secondary villains like Batros, Lodar, Shakoti, Fangman, Mask, Strongar. Go ahead, do them all, Kevin Sharp. Do a collage. We'd love to see it.
And then we gotta throw in. Oh, no, Kevin. What you do is you have Mask and Shakoti. You take out Strong Arm and Fangman because those are Skeletor's wars. We need your doll. Shakoti, Mask, Negator, Azrog, and Spydra. There you have it, buddy.
You pay him, he'll do it.
Now, Kevin, you got to make sure that at least one of those characters resembles Tyler in the face.
Now, have me draw me as He-Man, like they're all like firing like channeling blast, and I'm like taking, I'm like as He-Man taking the beating from all that, and make a great comic book character. Wouldn't that?
Now I know where the vomit on that mask came from.
See, yeah, Jesus, yeah, that was it would have been a lot more.
Kevin, Kevin, you can't find a better possible He-Man model than me, can you, Kevin?
Oh dear God! I didn't realize how far behind I got when I went.
Sony calling me to audition for this piece of shit thought of He-Man film that they're supposedly in talks about doing all this. Why haven't they called me? You can dub over my voice. You don't have to use my southern accent. Get Jarwin Irwin out of retirement. He can dub over me. I'm not
get Chris Pratt to dub over you. That'd be pretty good.
And then I feel a hate crime coming on.
Hate crime, sweet Jesus. Grimbot asked a question. God, it shows how far I was behind. Said, where did I get that? I got that that book that I just showed you.
He was talking about your
years ago on.
Joe.
Yeah, right. No, that was on eBay a while ago. That might have been when I first started getting on eBay, and I was doing searches for Masters Universe items, and I was looking for actually sticker book and coloring books. For some reason, this came up in the search, and yeah, that's how I got that. So let's see.
Because Sportimus, when you were going on your rant about why haven't they cast me as He-Man, Sportimus was like, "Where's that fart sound again?" And it just made me think about it.
Wow, it shows I got way behind.
Well played.
I wish what I wish I would have had that noise like available on my phone. That way, when you went through that, I would have just played that noise.
Well, God, it's just I just on YouTube. I didn't do anything special. I just found a fart sound on YouTube.
Well, I'm gonna keep that in mind going forward when I'm on this show.
I often thought we needed sound effects. Like I think of like the Dan Levitar show. They have like funny sounds they'll play on there at the right moments because their producer's very good about cueing a funny sound. And when Joe says something, I think you should have this, and I don't have to say anything. Just play the Rocco fart. I think it could become like a great thread on the show.
I'm just gonna laugh and cry the whole time.
I was gonna say, does it make you think of Vampiro farting?
No, that was like next level stuff right there. But sort of in a way. But that Rocco fart is just memorable to me.
Oh, I know. Joe, do you recall ever hearing that fart sound in cartoons, like especially Rocco? Or were you too old?
I never watched Rocco. No, I was too old. Jeff Pine, thank you for.
What a shame. Honestly, if you watch it now, I think you would have a better appreciation for it because the humor in that is
very
just
adult.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe. First, let me say hello to.
That could not be more. I'm not gonna watch your damn cartoon. Could you be any more fake with that joke?
I like how Joe said like the way that
God, man,
there's just night and day with you. Like when Tyler's really dismissive about something, he's like, "No, I'm not gonna watch that," and Joe's like, "Okay, well, yeah, that was nice. On to the next thing."
And Joe's like, "Oh, look, the window's on fire!" Like it just jumps out the window. It's just could. God, I can pinpoint people. I can be blind, deaf, and dumb, and know that guy is faking with his answer.
No, I think it's real obvious when I do it. Jeff Prime, though, thank you for joining us late because we're almost out of here. But thank you for joining us.
Oh, Chris, what would work really good is that when Joe just sits there and he just goes. Because Joe doesn't have to say anything. He just sits there looking at you with his head cocked and just farts. That's his.
Now I gotta figure out which one you found because there's a bunch on here.
Fart sound effect is 2 seconds.
I think yeah.
Oh my God! What have we turned into here at the end of the show? Jesus! Oh boy!
Farts are funny. I'm sorry.
Farts are funny. Well, yeah. So I've never seen it, but yeah, maybe someday. But let me just first thank everybody.
Just going on about Rongo. Yeah, I'll see you someday.
Someday, along with Beavis and
gets to his
Butthead
car-
and South Park, which I've never watched.
He gets in his car and takes off like a Simpsons character does.
Yeah, I've never watched
I don't
Beavis
know.
and Butthead
Oh man,
or South Park or Beavis and Butthead. Never seen either of those.
terrible, Joe. Got to get on that.
Yeah,
Man.
I think I watched one episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
one
man,
episode.
Joe clearly is not an actor. I mean, because is this what Joe does? I know he doesn't do this with food. He's like, oh my God, did someone say food?
Oh no!
Like if Joe was a character on a sitcom, he would be wearing the mask, but he would always pop up in somebody's window. You know, Joe,
Yeah,
wouldn't you rather just come in? Well, that's kind of rude, don't you think? Just to invite myself in like that, you know? But
when it's food, I honestly will tell somebody if something bad. I will do that. I won't
here,
fake
Joe. I
anything to that.
I got a question for you then. What is the worst item that you have ordered on any fast food menu? Like you thought it would be good and you tried it, and coming from you saying that some food is bad because you're like, oh yeah,
Well,
that's got a little mold
honest-
on it. We just pick that off. throw it away.
yeah, like the palate of a
No,
raccoon.
I'm glad you said it because I thought it was going to be really tasty over at Arby's. They advertised a chocolate shake, and they said get a big slice of sugary brown maple syrup bacon put into that for 50 cents. And it was something they were promoting. I was like, man, I said, oh, love me some bacon.
I think Joe's just pissed because he had to spend 50 cents. 50 cents.
Well, I
extra.
was. Oh, yeah, because I thought it was just going to
Uncomfortable.
be with the price of what it was. So I was excited because I was like, I love bacon. I love shakes. And when it went together, I was like, that sucked. And it went away about a month later. So that did not last. So that, yeah, that's it. That's the sound. It was bad. Oh, my God. And I know I've never heard of stunt dogs either. Zen Brown, I don't know what stunt dogs is. I like Drawn Together when that came out. That was good. They've lost it. It's done. It's over. They
When
lost
Joe
it.
started talking about eating, I gotta play a part sound in here somewhere.
Never gets old. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. guys. Sorry.
Oh crap. Okay. Geez, I don't know how to wrap it up. I'm not quite sure. Oh Jesus. God, what is going on at the end of the podcast? These guys have lost it, everyone. They're stuck in their fart.
Highbrow, like everyone thinks that I can still enjoy a good fart joke when it's played more when it's well placed. You know, like when Joe's talking about it took a long time for the Arby's to get out.
Perfect timing, exactly.
JSP did ask if there's going to be a Beyond Retro Arcade tonight. Yes, but it'll probably be a little bit later because I'll probably do some other stuff beforehand. But I gotta celebrate because I went into Little Caesars. Joe, if you want pretzel crust, you better hurry up because they told me today once they run out of the stuff to make them, that's done. And I was looking around and all the promotional stuff has been taken down, and it's not on the menu. So there you go.
I think I know how this episode is going to end after I say my thing, but first,
No,
everybody...
I promise you, I'm not. I'm doing a movie for it. I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I spent that nickel on this episode, so.
Well, everybody that was in the chat room and joined us, we loved having you here. Hope you enjoyed it because I'm sure you have, as we've lost it, and especially those two have lost their minds laughing.
Two of us lost.
For any...
You, Joe just kind of sat there.
No. That's fine. That's good. No, but anybody that's new to this podcast, whether you're watching us right now live or catch us on a rerun, make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell so you can always get notified of new content. We love having you every week. Hope you're here next week. We'll have a guest. But until next time, have a powerful day.
A naked American man stole my balloon.
Oh, I know that one.
What? What did he say?
A naked American man stole my balloon.
Oh God, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see if somebody in the chat room gets it. Brian C. Little just popped in just at the end of the show. Thank you for joining us.
I'm gonna guess this one.
You are? Go ahead.
Yeah, American Werewolf.
American Werewolf.
In London.
There you go.
In London.
Yeah.
Oh, one other final thing. I was hoping it was going to be good and sucked. Leprechaun Returns was not as good as I thought. Damn it. And I thought it would have been somewhat interesting.
What did you think?
Well, unlike those two other ones that came out recently that looked nothing like the original, this one tried to tie in direct. No, thank God. This tried to tie in directly to the original Leprechaun, but the way the actor has, unlike the original, with Warwick Davis, you could really hear him clearly when he'd do his little limerick rhymes. This Leprechaun had some weird sharp teeth. You could tell it was prosthetics, and it was like muffled when he'd talk, and just it kind of felt flat. I see what they were trying. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I thought. But okay, that's all. See you guys next time.
Well, they always mess that up. They came out with the new Critters series, and people are just like, yeah, it's not that good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Thanks for the laughs. Sorry for all the farts, everybody.
Yep.
It was just supposed to be a one-time thing, and that was it. It just kind of took on a life of its own. What can I say? Hey, at least there's never been fart sounds on a He-Man podcast, so we like to think we're trailblazers for a lot of things when it comes to He-Man. So
that's a first. It's a first, and we get an outshot maybe with Nathan saying something because I see he's got a different beefcake figure in back of him. I think.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I got is Karate Kid and Real Ghostbusters behind me.
Mm-hmm.
That's really weird.
Send any beefcake stuff or any stuff you can.
Joe, you're like seriously. I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That ain't beefcake.
There's Karate Kid right here, and then there's Real Ghostbusters. I don't know what you're talking about.
Who's the one on the top shelf? That's to my to your right, my left.
Joe,
ain't that beefcake?
There's nothing up there.
Go back over there. Go over there. I swear that's beefcake.
No, there's nothing there.
Tyler, is he screwing with me? That looks like that beefcake figure. That's beefcake. Come on now. That's beefcake.
When you did this, I'm assuming you mean like the LGM beefcake or something?
Yeah,
dude. Like there's nothing on that shelf. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.